Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa barak. Ala Nabi Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. طيب. So, we've learned in the few segments that we had today that interpersonal relations is an integral part of Islam. And that the quality of your Islam is directly connected to how well you treat others. And unfortunately, sometimes what happens is that when people are closer to you, we tend to be less keen, less attentive to their rights to good interpersonal relations. And nowhere is that the case, or more the case, than between husbands and wives, which makes this segment so important. So, we want to start out by reflecting on a few questions. And we're going to reflect together. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and those questions are not rhetorical. I'm actually expecting you to answer and to respond and to have a little bit of a dialogue and discussion about these questions. So first of all, why do people get married? Okay, so companionship is definitely one reason why people. Akhi, if you would not sit back there, because if sisters come up, we want them to sit back there. Okay, hey. So one reason definitely is companionship. People get married because they don't want to be alone. That's definitely true. What are some other reasons? Okay, start a family. They want to have children. Huh? Some people get married because it's what? It's highly recommended, the deen of Allah. It's the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ and all the prophets that they were married and they had children. They had offspring. Okay. What are some other reasons? Ahsant. That some people get married because they have desires that in Islam can only be fulfilled in marriage. Okay? Huh? That's it?
Some things that they don't want to do. They want their spouse to do it.
Okay, so some people get married because there are certain chores that they would rather have the other person do. It's sahih. A woman might get married because I don't want to work and take care of myself. I want a husband to do that for me. A man will get married because he wants his wife to iron the shirts and do the cooking and the cleaning, etc. So that's true. And I'm glad you guys mentioned what you just mentioned, because this is what I'm trying to get to. Everybody wants to mention some noble, lofty reason, and they run out. They ran out. So some people said, okay, companionship, children, sunnah. But now we're out of the lofty ones. And they think, oh, I'm not going to say it. No, say it. Why do people get married? Some people get married because of what? Money. This guy is a walking what? ATM. And I'm getting married to him because what? I'm a gold digger. Yeah, some people get married because of money. They do. They get married because of money. That's it. Right? Just so this 65-year-old guy, who a 20-year-old woman is interested in him, it probably has a lot to do with the fact that he's a millionaire. Wallah, people get married for money. Huh? What else? Huh? Status, yeah. Green card, ahsant, yeah. طيب, huh? Looks. Superficial reasons like looks. I'll call mumtaz. Are these the right or the wrong reasons? Get married for looks. Right reason? Good reason to get married? No. Why not?
It won't last.
Yeah, won't last. Yeah, looks, because why? It won't last. If you're married to him or her because of how they look today, then what are you going to do tomorrow when they don't look the same? Okay? Huh, what else? Green cards. That a good reason to get married? Huh? That a good reason to get Yunus is nodding his head. طيب. So There's some good companionships. Is that a good reason to get married? Sure. Sunnah, good reason to get married? Sure. Offspring. Good reason to get married? Sure. So yeah, there's some what? Good reasons and some what? And some bad reasons why people get married. Now, how can each of these motives affect the outcome of the marriage? Do people even think that far? That, okay, I want to get married to such and such person because of how good they look. How is that going to affect the outcome? Is this marriage going to be successful or not? Do I think that far ahead that this marriage is not likely to be successful? Why? Because they're not always going to look, the same. Tayyib, green card. Get married for a green card. How's that going to affect the outcome of the marriage? Is that likely to be a successful marriage for a green card? Because once you get the green card, then what? The whole reason why I was with you is now gone. Tayyib, companionship. How's that likely to affect what? The marriage, the outcome of the marriage? In a positive or a negative way? Positive, if your intention is what? To be a good companion, their intention to be a good companion. Tayyib, money. Get married for money. How's that likely to what? To influence the outcome. How many marriages do you know that the basis was money and they ended well? Nope. Ask your president. Ask your president. I'm not president, brother. Like, really? Yeah, I mean, it must be something that's attracting to him. Yeah, alhamdulillah. But at any rate, another question, is it proper to hope to get something out of marriage? Is that proper? You go into marriage expecting to get something out of it? Let me see a show of hands. Is that proper? Is it proper to go into marriage expecting to get something out of it? Yes. Yes. Who goes into marriage expecting to give everything and not get anything? Nobody. And this is the thing that both husband and wife have to understand what? When they get into marriage. This person didn't come to what? To just serve me and to meet my needs and to give me what I want and to be at my beck and call and then just get whatever scraps I'm willing to what? To give. It's important because that's a lot of people, they go into marriage with thinking about, yeah, I want to get some things, but they never think, yeah, that other person's expecting what? Some things as well. That's important. So yeah, you have every right, man and wife have every right to what? To go into marriage expecting what? Expecting something. But if you go into marriage expecting something, what should you expect? What should you expect? What do you have the right to expect? What do you have the right to expect? Do you have the right to expect anything and everything? Do you have the right to just dream of things that you expect and then impose those on the other spouse? Or are there somewhat guidelines that base a framework that's supposed to guide and set limits on what you're allowed to what? To expect to get out of marriage? Certainly. And last but not least, and maybe the most important question, what does Allah want marriage to produce? What does He want couples to get out of it? Because if we know this, that'll create what? An Islamically acceptable framework that's likely to produce a successful marriage. All right? So with that said, we want to talk about that because that's really what matters. What does Allah want you and I to get out of marriage? First of all, Allah tells us that He wants couples to be a garment for each other. As He says in the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 187, هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ. You husbands are a garment for your wives, and your wives are a garment for you. But what does that mean? That's kind of ambiguous, isn't it? It's kind of vague. So what does that mean? So that being a garment, what does that mean? It means four things. According to the scholars of Islam, being a garment means four things. The first one is a sitr. Being a garment means being a sitr, which is basically what? A covering that conceals faults. So basically, when we go out of our homes every morning, we do what? We cover our shame, right? Cover our faults. And we do that because we don't want people to see what? Our faults. Allah wants couples to be that way with what? Each other. They cover each other's what? Faults. A sitr. طيب. The second one is a firash. And a firash, what that basically means, literally, is a bed. And what's intended by that is a partner in intercourse. Allah wants the husband and wife to share intimacy. He doesn't want the husband and wife to have a celibate relationship. He wants them to share intercourse, an intimate relationship, and that's part of what? Being a libas. To protect each other from what? From doing haram. طيب ثم بعد ذلك a wrapper, a lihaf, a wrapper. And that wrapper, something which wraps around you, symbolizes what? Closeness. So he wants the couple to be what? Very close, to have a very close-knit relationship, and not to be people who are like roommates. They live together, but they really don't share what? They don't share a life together. But he wants them rather to be what? To be close. That's part of the meaning of what? Libas. Al-lihaf. And last but not least, the fourth meaning and final meaning of libas is a second, which means something that relaxes you and puts you at ease. Something that relaxes you and puts you at ease. So Allah expects the couple to be a refuge. You go out in the world and there's work, there's the outside environment, there's people you meet on the street, there's this, that, and the other thing, which makes you feel like you're under siege. You know? Conflicts at work, conflicts with coworkers, conflicts with people in the classroom, conflicts with your neighbor, conflicts, just so many different things which bring about what? Pressure and anxiety. The couple are supposed to be the ones who, when I'm with them, I can do what? I can put down my guard. And I can feel safe and secure that no harm will come to me from them. I can be at ease. This is part of the meaning of what? Libas, a second. Somebody who I don't have to have my guard up. I don't have to duck and dodge. And this is the thing, you have to bear this in mind as a husband or a wife or potential husband and wife. You shouldn't be the one that your family is what? Afraid of. The one that your partner is trying to avoid because you're the source of what? Of controversy, conflict, anxiety, tension, worries, stress. You're supposed to be the opposite. I'm the one that what? Will relieve stress, make you feel at ease, make you feel safe, make you feel that what? I can lower my guard. These are the four meanings of libas. Another thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants couples to achieve is an acceptable, amenable life, civil life with one another. Wants them to live in a way which people look at and say, man, that's a great couple, right? They have a good thing going. Everybody looks at them and envies them in a good way. That's what Allah wants from couples. As it says in the Quran, وَعَاشِرُهُنَّ بالمعروف, and live with them in a way which is accepted by everyone as good. And last but not least, Allah wants the marriage to foster tranquility, love, and mercy. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُم مَّوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً وَعَلَيْكُمُ السَّلَامُ إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. He says, and among His signs is that He created for you from yourselves mates, that you may find tranquility in them. And He placed between the two of you affection and mercy. Indeed, in that are signs for people who reflect. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informs us here that the wife is supposed to be a source of peace for her husband, which entails that she, rather than vex, annoy, and upset him or incite his anger, should interact with him in a way that relaxes him and puts him at ease. He also tells us that marriage in Islam should cultivate two fundamental things: love, and it should exemplify it should reflect and exemplify mercy and compassion. So two fundamental things that couples should get out of a marriage, or three, I guess: tranquility, be at peace with that partner, love, and mercy. Yeah, we'll stop there. So we'll stop there, ya ikhwan, we'll pray, and then we'll pick it up from there. All right.